I think we're live. We're live, everyone. Yes, we are. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back in with a new stream, and that is right. We are live on this beautiful January 24th, 2024. I hope everyone's having a phenomenal day, night, afternoon, midnight, wherever you're in the world. I'm certainly having a great day myself, and it is time for yet another live discussion of the 2024 Republican presidential primary because, well, let's face it, it's never gonna end at this rate. Listen, I don't care who you are. Last night should have been the end of Nikki Haley in the scam of a campaign that she's running. I mean, think about it. She got crushed. No matter how many Democrats voted, she still lost by over like 11 points. Well, guess what? She's saying, no, I can still somehow beat the orange man. So we're back again with another live discussion on this chaotic race. But first, before we continue with today's video, I hope you enjoy today's stream, I should say. I hope you enjoy these type of streams. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Guys, just for $1 a month, you can join Real American. This is the best way to support the daily content that we all know and love. So I hope and recommend you join the channel today. And like usual, if you have any questions, concerns, comments, or just want to support the channel even further, the best way to send a super chat via, well, the chat. Again, I'll try to get through as much of the chat as possible, but yeah. Optic Big Evil for 5. When are you going to talk about UAW endorsing Biden? Tomorrow. That was going to be tomorrow's video, but I can talk about it right now. So the UAW, at least the leadership, did endorse Trump, or not Trump, Biden for president. You know, it's not really that big of a surprise. Like, I was never the person to say he was going to get the endorsement or not, for Trump at least. But everyone kind of knew it was going to happen. But the fact that it took this long, for an incumbent Democrat, that's not a good sign. I don't care who you are. It is not good that they waited till after New Hampshire to say, you know what, we're going to endorse Joe. Alright, a glitched EV for 5. I overlay the 2024 New Hampshire Republican primary over the 2020-2016 general election maps, and Haley only won 3 Trump 2020 towns and 8 2016. Yeah. And you know what? I'm going to pull up the map, because I just want to show you guys, I was right about how Democrats were going to try to inflate the vote, in which they did, for Nikki Haley. There's one township I just got to show you guys. Hanover, which is where university is. Okay. Nikki Haley got... Oh, actually, that's the wrong map. Hold on. Whoops. Got to pull up the right one. Excuse me. So Nikki Haley got around, 1,400 votes in this part of the state, right? This one township, right? That's important, right? 1,400. All right, there we go. Now it's working, okay? There we go. So yeah, 1,400 just in this one town. Well, take a guess how many votes Trump got in 2020. Just take a guess. This was all over Twitter last night. Trump got 841 in 2020. When you combine Trump's vote total and everyone else's, like Chris Christie's, it's over double what Trump got. And this is why a lot of people are saying Haley her entire base were Democrats. It wasn't, just a couple independents here. Her entire vote share came from independents. Duster Carter for 2. Really feeling like Trump picks Zeldin for VP. It does. It does feel like that. But you just look at this. I mean, there's other places like, where are we at? Jackson, I think, is the other one. Haley got 247. Well, Trump got 212. When you combine Trump's margin, that's over 320. Just in this one township. You could keep going. Go to Dover. Haley got around 2,900. Okay, 2,900. Trump got around 6,000, but when you combine what Trump and others got, it's around 5,500. You do the math, and you realize her entire support came from Democrats. That's all that happened here. That's the only reason she, quote-unquote, overperformed. And despite this, if there wasn't these Democrats running, Trump would have still broken the record for the most votes ever by anyone in the New Hampshire primary. In history, more than Bernie Sanders in 2016. Yeah, that's how big of a victory he had just of Republicans. And you look at some of the precincts, or townships, I should say, Trump didn't do that bad considering, like, say, Dover. Trump, got around 33% in 2020 in the general. Well, this was essentially a Republican v. Democrat, and he had 44%. I know it's more Republican, but you get the point. Trump did a decent enough job in these blue areas. I mean, Haley did, like, absurd in, like, Hanover, but you get the point. Optic Big Evil for 2. I think Trump is going to pick Tucker Carlson for VP. No, I don't think so. The big problem with that is he started his own media company. I doubt that he's just going to stop now to be the VP. I just don't think so. Plus, does Tucker really want to be the VP? There was some buzz about that earlier, but now he started his company. I doubt it. Trump got a lot of Biden towns. Yeah. There are a couple that he did somehow win. I think it was, which one was it? The notable one. There was a couple of them. Yeah, so you had Warner. Trump got 43%. Well, he actually won this. And once again, look at that. Combine Trump and Haley's vote share, it's identical to what Trump got. I mean, what does that tell you? I understand, or comes close to it. I understand that this was higher turnout. But the only mathematical way that you get this many votes in some of these areas is if a bunch of Democrats vote for Haley. The polling shows it. Everything shows that's what happened. Haley's overperformance came from way more Democrats voting than expected. That's what happened. Not a grand conspiracy, which, by the way, so much for that conspiracy that secretly somehow Biden, or I should say Democrats, want to go against Trump. If they want to go against Trump, why the hell would they vote for Nikki Haley? And remember, independents in New Hampshire are far more left-leaning than most of the country. The party registration's like R+0 or D+1. Independents vote vehemently Democrat in the state. That's what I try to tell people. If this was just Republicans, he would have won by 30, potentially 40 points. Let's see. Are we going to have another nullification crisis with Texas? All right. So, I know a little bit about the Texas situation. I'm not an expert on it. I wish one of the people from Texas would be on the stream, but they're both busy. But I think with the whole Texas situation, a lot of people are... The Supreme Court didn't directly say, they ruled on it, I don't think. They made an injunction, but they didn't say, you have to take down the border, the walls, not the wall, the fences they're setting up. I don't think they said that. They just put an injunction on it. I think it's still going through the Fifth Circuit. I could be wrong, but the whole situation is the fact that we're even in this situation when the President of the United States is telling border guards, no, just open the border up when we already have enough immigrants. Listen, this is bad either way for Biden, I think. Either he sets up, a really bad situation at the southern border where, hey, one of the Texas National Guards say, F you, we're just not going to listen to you. What happens in that case? What happens if, say, the National Guard arrests anybody that goes on the border, take down the fence they're setting up? the barbed wire. What happens? And on top of that, can you imagine the optics of this? Oh yes, we have a bad enough border and we're doing everything we can to stop this influx of immigrants. So we are going to take down the only thing preventing these people from illegally coming to this country. Sure, I'm sure that's not going to end horribly for it. I'm certain of it. Charlie Howard for 2. Did you see that poll from Pennsylvania? Biden up by 8. That poll is bullshit. Best way to put it. They have Bob Casey outrunning Biden by 4 to 5. That's not going to happen. It's just not. Duster Carter for 2. Do you support right to succession today? South 2.0. No. I think the right to succession is just not constitutional. Just my opinion, but we're not going to get into that. But it could start a bad crisis. I could see that. Because they're like, the federal government is saying, no, we're not going to protect our border. What are you going to do about it? In the states that's trying to fix the border, they're going to get in trouble for it. It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation if you're Texas. I don't know. Don't know what to say. But yeah, I'm just going to say, sit back and enjoy the fireworks. It's going to get ugly, I think, but I don't know. Don't know. I'm from Texas. Also, I think the situation he's referring to is Greg Abbott's statement on Texas right to self-defense. I did see that. That's why I'm trying to tell people that I have no clue how this goes. If you have the Texas National Guard just telling Biden to go F himself, I don't know. Abbott has already authorized Texas National Guard and State Defense Force to arrest federal border security. Did he? I did not see that. What do you think about Lake and DeWitt? Okay. So should we segue to that situation? Okay. Listen. I don't care who you are. I don't care what people are saying on Twitter. What this bozo did should have him thrown in jail. I cannot believe that this is even happening. For those that don't know what's happening in the state of Arizona, Jeff DeWitt, we're going to call him the bozo. What should I call this guy? Part of the cartel? I don't freaking know. But he is like, so, Kerry, this was like 8 months ago. We heard you want to run for the U.S. Senate. There's some people that don't want you to run. How much will it take you to not run? $40, $50 million? Or it was like something in that range, like 30 million. I don't freaking know. It was tens of millions of dollars. Like here, is there a number at which, before Miss Lake interrupts, saying I can be bought? He replies not be bought, but instead wait a few years before running. Yeah, oh, bullshit! Jeff Twitt, that's a good one. Nitwit. There's some good ones, but they're trying to claim now this wasn't bribery, this wasn't corruption. They were trying to pay off Kari Lake not to run. And the problem is, how much you want to bet? They're making a big stink about how Lake, recorded this video, or recorded the audio. How much you want to bet DeWitt had freaking wires on him? They do this shit. Would you really be surprised if, oh, we won't harm you if you run in 2026. But then when 2026 arrives, oh, remember that deal you struck with us? Well, we have you on tape, taking a bribe. And we're going to make sure that gets leaked unless you don't run. That's what these scumbags do. Jeff Dipshit. But why are people echoing after Lake? I don't care that Lake secretly recorded it. I would too when this guy is saying, yeah, the cartel will not be happy. Or what did he say with the cartel? That the cartel works in all 50 states. It's absolutely pathetic what happened in the Arizona Republican Party. Why blame Lake for this? I don't know. But the people that have 5 brain cells at most. And frankly, that's like being generous. Probably 1. You cannot tell me that there wasn't a problem here. Jeff Dipshit for the win. That's a good one. Seriously, we protect democracy, guys. Through string pulling and soft money. Democracy's in safe hands. Yeah, it's like... And this is what we know of. Can you imagine what happens in closed doors with allegedly no wires on anyone? Oh, gosh. I mean, the fact that Lake said no just makes me respect her more. I mean, this is just utter stupidity, and not just from a Democrat, this is from a Republican. All right. A democracy, yeah. It's always democracy with these people, and it's not good. It's not good. But I'm glad that she said no. I'm very much glad that she said F you. You could have suggested a million different things, but try to bribe her with money? And then just say, oh, well, the cartel operates in all 50 states. That's not that good. Not that good at all. When will we know when and if third-party candidates get in Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin? To be determined. To be determined. Honestly, I don't know. Tell us what they did with Hill Harper in Michigan. What? Lock him up, DeWitt. Well, he should. And luckily, right before the stream started, he resigned. He said, oh, I wasn't trying to bribe her. I was just trying to unite the party. Oh, bull crap. What is this statement then? Is there a number at which? They offered Hill Harper money to back out. Oh, of course they did. There's so much of that in politics. I'll give Hill Harper, if that's true, I'll give him credit for saying, yeah, no, I'm not going to take your money. He doesn't even need money. Wasn't he an actor of, like, The Good Doctor or something? Alright. Major polls raised and primary contenders in Arizona also raised because the census shows the current guys are corrupt. Maybe. He resigned, yeah, he got thrown out. Because apparently Carrie Lake said, yeah, I have another recording of this guy. Another damaging one. If he did not step down. I would just say release it. Just say screw it. Burn everything down. And these are the people, mind you, that blame everyone but themselves for 2022. Just remember that. Duster Carter for 2. Do Republicans lose thin majorities in Arizona state legislature this year? Yes, I think they do. Yeah, it's going to happen. Not looking good. And they're going to blame Lake for it. Hill Harper was also an actor in CSI New York. I didn't know about that one. Why didn't Obama do well in Arizona? I just think that he was not a suburban candidate. Despite all the narratives, he was not. He was a garbage candidate for, like, the Phoenix suburbs. That's what I think happened. Hell, even Clinton struggled a little bit in Phoenix. Considering. She only got, like, 40% or something. What was it, 44%? Rap, did you see Trump was up 4 points in the RCP aggregate? I did see that, but I don't know. I can laugh at certain people now. Remember when the polling was gonna surge for Biden? That's going well. Going well, isn't it? Send a wit to Alcatraz. I agree. But alright. So, should we talk about the Nikki Haley stuff? About how she's thinking she could still win, which, let me just pull up the map here. This map. I mean, for starters, let's just get this out of the way. Trump is winning every delegate in Nevada. Why? Put it simply, he's the only one on the ballot that's still campaigning, and not named Ryan Binkley. Plus, you need 4% of the vote anyway, so it's like, yeah. Yeah, Nikki Haley isn't even on the ballot in Nevada. So, we're saying he's at 58 and Haley's at around 18. But alright, so, her entire campaign strategy has moved. Instead of, oh, we need a strong performance in New Hampshire. We need a strong performance in South Carolina. Man up for 2. Can Trump carry the Arizona legislature? Arizona GOP, no hope. If he wins the state by 4 or 5, yeah, I would say so. As for the Arizona GOP, I think they're done. This kind of sealed it. This is not a scandal you come back from. At least for a while. Phantom Raider for 5. So wrap. Hypothetically, if libertarians started joining the ranks of the GOP, what stances should they keep or drop if they join up in mass? I would say this one has always been libertarians, I make fun of them a lot. There are some good libertarians, like Ron Paul. They're the ones that, understand what libertarianism actually is. Not this crap that the current party is. For those that don't know, the current Libertarian Party really isn't libertarian. It's like social anarchy. That's their party. And I think if they just drop that part of, the government cannot exist at all. It's like, just drop that, and they agree with Republicans on most stuff. But again, this is libertarians. There are good ones. I know of many of them that are great people. They told the Libertarian Party 5 years to go F themselves. So. But, yeah. There's plenty of paleo-libertarians that could be flipped. Most of them have. Like the Ron Paul types. They're really good. Others, not so much. Not gonna do much. But I would say just drop the anarchy crap. Libertarians have a better shot running candidates in GOP primaries. I agree with that. Run paleo-libertarians. You would be taken so much more seriously. Just say, we're a faction of the GOP now. We're going to run paleo-libertarians. And yeah. Trump should focus on the Midwestern states. Well, he has a campaign in South Carolina because Haley won't drop out. So. Duster Carter for 2. What key states vote left and right of the nation 2024? Well, of the key states, okay. I'm going to say Pennsylvania votes the left. For some reason, I don't know. Something's not looking good in Pennsylvania, but I have a hot take. I think Michigan votes the right. I have this weird feeling, but something's happening in Michigan. Wisconsin votes the right. Nevada, I think it's in line with the national margin. Like, 1 or 2 points to the right or left. H-Post for 10. The only states she has any kind of chance in are states with liberal GOP governors with unique coalitions. So only Massachusetts, Maryland, and Vermont left. Plus DC at best. She will win DC, I think, but nothing else. Okay, so let's just go over this for a second. This is the problem that Nikki Haley is going to have. No matter what you say, and actually, I could pull up the... People Pundit actually put up a really good map that demonstrates why this... Well, you have a good point, by the way, that, hey, there are a lot of left-leaning states left, but that's going to be a problem for Haley, because let me pull this up. People's Pundit. Where are you at? Because it is a really good map that demonstrates that, while that would make sense on paper, in theory, or I should say, in reality, I don't know about that one. Okay, let me just pull this up. I'm sorry, just gotta get this up. Alright, so, here we go. So let's just take, for example, Massachusetts. So the problem is, okay, there we go. It is a semi-closed primary. And you can see here, voters generally must be registered as a party member in order to participate in that party's primary. But unaffiliated voters can participate in their primary of their choice. And theoretically, you could say that, well, they're going to vote for Nikki Haley. Here's the thing about, like, Massachusetts. Their independents are, for whatever reason, when you look at the party registration data, is not that far different from, say, New Hampshire. I don't know what's up with New Hampshire independents, but I can actually pull up the numbers right now. We actually went from Sam Madsen for 5. If you're right and Republicans lose the Arizona legislator and Dems will go nuts and guns, would that help us win the state back? It could. I can absolutely see that happening, where they go after guns and we have a 2020 Virginia situation again, or 2019, Right after they took control, they went after guns and it backfired. I could see that. Massachusetts party registration numbers. All right. So, let's see. Yeah, Republicans are 8% of the electorate in Massachusetts. Independents are actually 60%. So, Democrats are 30%. So, independents lean to the left, but actually if you just allocate them by, percent of vote, they're actually similar to those of New Hampshire. So, and Vermont, you got a similar problem. Let me just get this up here. Like, Vermont, I think's, open primary, but look at these states. They're winner take most. So, if Trump gets above 50, he gets all the delegates. So, I understand what you're saying, but I just think the problem for, say, Haley is the states are not going to be as favorable, especially in a month, when Trump has gained momentum and has effectively united the party. And at this point, it's like, I don't think that many Democrats will vote. Plus, the delegate allocation rule just is not going to help her. So, and you just look at Texas and California. Winner take most, and Texas is a Republican state. Let's not pretend otherwise. And California is a closed primary. So yeah, it's not really going to change much. Let's see. This woman speaks without opening her mouth, and it's obvious the greater interest of pain for her. Yeah. Nikki Haley is just... She is the globalist pick this cycle. I still think she's worse than Biden. I know that's hard to say, but... Who's worse? I mean, at least Biden's, he signed like 2 good pieces of legislation, the child tax credit and the CHIPS Act. At least you got that. With Haley, it's like, what does she have? Republicans flipped New Hampshire State House seat that was D plus 15 that shows Trump's strength. Yeah, that's with a lot of Democrats voting. So, but it was Republican electorate, so. Just got here, but Haley is already losing donors, and we'll get to that now, because we kind of went over some of the stuff. I want to talk about the delegate stuff. It just not going to happen. Just don't see how. All right. So, Nikki Haley just last night said, we are going to stand until South Carolina. They somehow still have a path, even though... Just hypothetically speaking, if Trump wins the state by 20 to 30, he gets every single delegate. It's winner take all. So just a small, tiny problem for Nikki Haley. Trump has to win by 20, he gets every delegate. But all right, that's her strategy going forward. We could do good in South Carolina. We could do good in... say, I don't freaking know. That's her strategy, South Carolina. Remind you of anything? Of anyone? Jeb Bush 2016 and DeSantis 2024. They promised the same thing. We're going to make our stand in South Carolina. Yeah, DeSantis didn't even make it to New Hampshire, and Bush got crushed. So... I just don't see how Haley has any pathway. Especially when, let me pull this up here. This happened today. One of Nikki Haley's top donors said, no, we're done funding you. It's over. And by the way, this is not a Republican donor. I believe he's one of the biggest, he's a LinkedIn co-founder. So, and he freaking... I mean, look at this. He said he supports President Biden. He believed Haley was the best chance of beating Trump in the primary. Does this sound like, again, does this sound like someone to you that's going to vote for Haley in the general? They support Biden, but they're donating to Haley to screw with Trump. Man, the Democrats are surely trying to help Trump here. Sam Madsen for 2. Do you still think we hold a Wisconsin legislator? Yes. Yes. But, with the whole map situation, could change by the day, but I don't know. Phantom Raider for 5. If you had a socially moderate Republicans running as MAGA-style candidates, would that help the GOP gain more voters? Or would nothing change whatsoever? I think it actually, nothing changes. And this is something that a lot of people have, I think, missed the point on. It does, let's say, like, okay, outside of Maryland, Vermont, Massachusetts, it really doesn't matter. Like, it still kind of does matter, but if it doesn't really matter if you're socially moderate or socially conservative. If you run a good campaign, you're gonna win voters, no matter what. Again, some states, not so much, but usually, say Wisconsin. Scott Walker was very socially conservative, even back in 2018. And the problem for Republicans is these campaigns just suck. They're all the same. They're all out of money. They have no clue how to talk to people. They all try to emulate Trump. And I think that's the biggest problem. They're trying to all be Trump. I think that's the biggest problem for them, for the GOP. They try to emulate Trump, not just on policy, which half of them don't, but on his rhetoric, on the way he campaigns. There's only one Trump. If you run as, say, a Lee Zeldin or Glenn Youngkin type, you could be fairly conservative. I mean, Youngkin he's not the most, conservative guy, but he's still, for Virginia standards, he is fairly conservative. So is Zeldin. He had a good voting record. Phantom Raider, or actually I already read that. Zethanol Z99 for 5. What's your thoughts on the UAW president's endorsement on Biden? It's not a surprise, but kind of pathetic it took this long. Just, for a pro-union president that shouldn't have taken this long for the UAW to endorse Trump, or endorse Biden. Kind of pathetic. Look at CNN. They had people who came out to vote for Haley and said they wouldn't vote for her versus Biden. Yeah. Again, this wasn't just one interview. Like, oh, one Democrat crossover, fine. There isn't just 2 of them. I think there's like 5 or 6 of them they talked to and they said, yeah, we're going to vote for Biden in November. I'm just here to screw with Trump. That's expanding the electorate? No, it isn't. You just rented the vote for a day, and Richard Barris made a good point on this, possibly screwed Republicans this cycle, because now you have all these Democrats pretending to be Republicans, who will never vote Republican, mind you, on the rolls, on the screens, on the data screens, because Haley made them vote in the GOP primary. That's going to burn through millions of dollars just to clean through that mess. Charlie Howard for 5. Do you think North Carolina legislator gain even more GOP seats this year? Hopefully Robinson wins, and hopefully Dan Bishop becomes the first GOP attorney general in 100 plus years. They should gain more seats. I think Robinson does win. Dan Bishop to be determined. To be determined. Duster Carter for 2. Rosedale running will be bad. He'll lose his primary. I don't think he loses primary. It'll be close, but I think he wins. He shouldn't have waited this long, but I think he pulls it off. Let's see. How are those people allowed to vote in a primary? Because New Hampshire's a dumb system where... So, I'm an undeclared voter that has voted Democrat my entire life, but I'm allowed to just vote Republican this one time, just to screw with Trump. In my opinion, the law should be, you cannot, for your, like, say, vote Republican in one primary, and then the very next cycle vote Democrat. You just can't do that. My opinion is, after you vote Democrat one cycle in the primary, you can't vote Republican for 4 years or something. Horizons Bear for 2. Haley's base are suburban white pose. Good lord. I wouldn't go that far, but they are suburban white voters. Jess Unleashed for 2. What was the percent of Democrats that voted for Haley? Well, 8% of the electorate was Democrat for the Republican side. It was like 86% of them voted for Haley. Do some math on that one. Just if Democrats are willing to admit, yeah, I'm a Democrat voter. Let's see. Only party should pick their nominees. Just use a convention system. I think that's the best way to pick candidates in most situations. Again, there should be primaries are fine, but they should be closed. Duster Carter for 2. 2022 proved we cannot afford divisive primaries. I agree with that. Rap, if you had to place Trump's former opponents who have endorsed him in his administration, where would you put each one? And why including Perry Johnson, Larry Elder, in case you forgot about them? So, well, some of them... Okay. Tim Scott's going to stay a senator. I just don't see him leaving that post. He is retiring, but I just don't see him leaving the Senate. Ramaswamy, ooh. He's one where I think you put him pretty much anywhere. That's a tough one for Ramaswamy. Doug Burgum's energy, that's foregone conclusion. Okay. DeSantis is going to be a governor. Okay, there's some tough ones. Johnson, I think, will be a advisor, an economic advisor of some sorts. I think his 2-cent plan was really good. Thoughts of Bill Graham. I should know the name. The name sounds familiar. Don't know enough about him. Trump ruined the suburbs for the GOP. That's bullshit. There's many suburbs where he did better than Romney in. It depends what suburbs you're talking about. Even, say, the Philly suburbs. They were shifting Democrat far before Trump. Virginia, same deal. Texas, same deal. There were plenty of suburbs shifting Democrat far before Trump, and they were going to happen no matter what, because of basic demographic changes. Could Trump still win the Teamsters endorsement? It's up in the air right now. Could someone with money for a super chat ask him what he thinks the Nevada caucus results are going to look like? Oh, I'll save you time. It's going to be Trump's going to hold delegates. It's going to be like 90% Trump, because Haley's not even on the ballot. So it's like, it's not going to happen. Oh, you expect, the frickin' Ryan Binkley to get a delegate? I doubt that. He needs 4% of the vote. Just don't think it's going to happen. Let's see. Donald Trump did well in Florida suburbs. Yeah, they forget about that one. They forget about how he did good in the outskirts of Tampa Bay. That's what won him the election. He did awful in Tampa Bay, but the outskirts he did great in. The surrounding counties. Binkley only needs 4%. It's not going to happen. Let's see here. Rap, how do you not know about who Billy Graham is? I should know who wasn't he a pastor, I think? I'm pretty sure he was a pastor, right? Yeah, I know who he is. I just had a brain fart for a second. Phantom Raider for 5. Isn't Blake Masters a libertarian type of sorts? Are you okay if more Masters types Republicans run the future elections? Yeah. Well, he's a libertarian in the sense of, more focus on economics. Not just a social libertarian. It's like the new president of Argentina, Milei. He's not a social libertarian. He's willing to use frickin' police force to to raid into crime dens and actually deal with people. He's willing to use force if needed. He's willing to use the government if needed. But on economic fronts, it's like, no. We should have as small of government as possible, get rid of the regulation, cut taxes, cut spending, which I have some agreements with. But yeah. Can we stream the Nevada primary? We will. We will stream the Nevada primary and caucus. Could you cover the betting odds for president? I think Trump's up right now. Trump's primary numbers are down a lot from 2020. What are you even talking about? Hold on, let's fact check this bozo live. Let's see here. Let's just check what Trump got 2020 Republican New Hampshire primary. Let's just fact check this clown right away. Let's see here. Wrong one. Man, look at this. In 2020 or 2024, Trump got 174,000 votes. In total, there was 151,000 Republicans that voted in 2020 in the New Hampshire primary. Yeah, that sure seems like a lot of decay for Trump. I mean, just him alone went up 50,000 votes. And if you get rid of these Democrats, Trump probably got 70% of the vote. He did. Now, what the exit polls showed. Let's see. Yeah, Trump got the most votes ever in a New Hampshire primary. In spite of all the Democrats that voted for Haley, he won by over 10,000 or 10%. Bernie got 150,000. Yeah, that's the record, right? Before Trump. Percentages matter. When you have over half of the electorate being Democrats, it's going to inflate the margin for Haley. That's a cardinal for 2. CNN has Georgia as lean Republican. Check the wiki page. I actually kind of agree with that right now. But I mean, like, I showed this many times. Hanover Township. 1,400 votes for Haley. In 2020, Trump got 841. These are not Republicans that voted for Haley. They're Democrats. Get this through your head. These are Democrat voters that are voting for Haley en masse just to screw with Trump. So, yeah. Let's see. Trump would pull us out of NATO and alienate us from our allies. If they don't pay their fair share, yeah. Tell them NATO to go F themselves. If you're not going to pay your fair share while we do all of your frickin'... We basically build up NATO's military. With the amount of money we spend. It's like... So you expect us to keep worrying about you clowns. But the second you guys leave, oh no, we have to protect democracy. We're best allies. If they're not going to pay their fair share, leave. Charlie Howard for 5. How would Biden 2020 voters do you think will flip, or how many Biden 2020 voters do you think will flip Trump? I think maybe 7 to 12%. That would be good for Trump. Well, I actually wanted to bring this up, and I could actually pull up the tweet right now. Because I think there's a problem for Biden with some of these voters. Let's see here. Because, when you look at some of these areas, one of these townships, I forgot which one it was, on the Democrat side. If I could find it here. Let's see. There was one where you look at the amount for how many, where was it? There was a township that I gotta find. But when you look at the ward results, it's like, bro, hold up. It's not that good. I can't find it. Sadly, I cannot find the tweet, but essentially what it said was, in the most Hispanic parts of New Hampshire, Biden did awful, and he got like 52% in. In the white college-educated parts, say... I should pull up right here, say Hanover, he got almost 80%. But in some of these other areas, he did not do that good. In some of these white working class areas that are more Trumpy, well, let me look at this. Winchester, Phillips actually outright won by 30 points, which, for perspective, Trump did win this by 0.1. There were some cause for concern for Biden. If I'm Biden, I would be concerned that, hey, some of these areas, especially minority, white working class voters, struggled. They were absolutely awful for Biden. He was barely cracking 50% with them. So I think there is a problem for Biden on that front, but it's college-educated voters. The professors, the clowns who go to university, you know, those people, you know. The ones that, they're the ones that want their college degree 100% free. Make everyone else pay for it. New Hampshire's a Hispanic part? No way. There's like one there's a couple wards that are like 80% Hispanic. And you got like 50% of the vote. I'm not saying New Hampshire's Hispanic. I'm just saying there are Hispanic wards and some parts that are a bit more Hispanic of New Hampshire. It's like 40% or something. I forgot what it was, but Biden got like 50% in them. That was his worst. I believe that's where he did the worst in. I could check later, but not good. Not good for Biden. Not good for Biden. I mean, this is one of the worst margins a sitting president has ever had. Just think about that. He is at, right now, around 65%. That's awful. Absolutely atrocious. If the Democrats did not screw New Hampshire, Dean Phillips right now would qualify for delegates because it's 15% in New Hampshire for the Democrat side. Manchester is Trumpian. I didn't say Manchester, did I? No, I said Winchester. There's some more of the Trumpy parts of the state actually was a bit more Dean Phillips favorable. Again, not saying every part of it was, but let's see here. We gotta find it. There we go. Like, let's look at Farmington. Trump got around 71%. Let's see. Yeah, see? Biden's gonna get around just under 60%. Or just over it. So, he did underperform in some of these white working class areas. Binkley won beans. I don't think he did. I'm not sure if you've heard it yet, but Kevin said is pledged to stand with Texas and send the Guard to stand with them against federal agents at the border. Is that real? Is Stitt sending the National Guard there? That should be fun. Biden did not even get a delegate in New Hampshire. Yeah. He had probably the worst performance of any Democrat ever to win the presidency. I mean, he got like 5%. He got crushed. All right, if anyone got any more super chats, any more questions, concerns, whatever, send them now. Because, I mean, there is a lot of, data points to look over. I'm going to do another stream on this eventually. Because I do want to look at the wards results and see, hey, what percent of the vote in, say, the more Hispanic minority parts of New Hampshire? I know it's like 90% white. I'm talking about the wards that are like a bit more minority. How did Biden do in them? It's going to be low turnout, but I don't know. We kind of went over everything I wanted. Nikki Haley is losing her donors. Yeah, it's not looking too good. Now, as for the rest of the Democrat primary, I am fascinated to see what happens in South Carolina. I really want to see how New Hampshire votes. Or not New Hampshire, South Carolina. Because if Biden is getting like, I would say if he gets below 80%, he's screwed. That should be his best state. And this is an excuse of, oh, well, he wasn't on the ballot in New Hampshire. If he gets below 80 in South Carolina, the state that loves him, he is in deep shit. Duster Carter for 2. What would happen equals state arrests federal officials. Yeah, that could start a crisis. That would not be good. She'll drop it before South Carolina if she had a brain. Well, she doesn't. She has money. She has Democrat donors funding her campaign. Trying to screw with Trump as much as they can. Let's see. I've been one Republican longer than you've been alive. What? Oh, yeah, sure, you're a Republican, all right. Proceeds to vote for Biden. Biden will get over 80 in South Carolina, but with pitiful turnout. I don't know. I really don't know what percent of the vote he gets. I could see him, if he gets below 80, that's a sign of him being in trouble. He should get like 85, I would assume. But 80%, you're pushing it. 70%, okay, you have a problem. 60%, yeah, Democrats may pick Newsom. Does Trump's win last night signal New Hampshire could be a toss-up? It was effectively Trump versus a generic Dem last night. I wouldn't go that far. Because, yeah, when I know there are a lot of Democrats that did vote for Haley, but there were still some Republicans that did vote for Haley. So, you gotta do some math on it, but it probably would have been like Biden plus 1 or 2. It could have been close, but it was a Republican electorate. More so than in general. Rap, when you said Winchester, I was thinking about that bar in Shaun of the Dead. Oh, man. That was one of Trump's best townships, and Dean Phillips actually won it. So, yeah. See here. Yeah, Winchester, he got around 53%. That was actually, I think, yeah, that was probably his third best township, right? Yeah, second. Richmond was about the same, I think. Nope, never mind. But either way, it's like, there's some correlation here. Is that causation? I don't know, but fascinating. Fascinating either way. Alright, U.S. military can't afford, let's see. Can't afford internal conflict right now. Well, true. But it's gonna get ugly, I think. What do you think the Republicans can expand the electoral map if they lose Texas, New York? There is something happening. I don't know what's happening in New York, but they're cooking something, alright. Cooking something. What's your opinion on Roger Roth, and would he make a good Senate candidate? Was he the Senate president for a while in Wisconsin? I think he was pretty good, if I remember correctly. Let's see. The Supreme Court will overturn Trump ballot bans in Maine and Colorado. They should, because if they don't, well, we have a problem. Big problem. Let's see. You think that percentage is flipping for Haley and you give it to Biden? If that happens in the same states this year as 2020, Trump is toast. What are you talking about? The voters voting for Haley are already going to vote Biden, even against Haley. They even said, yeah, I'm going to vote Biden no matter what, even if it's Nikki Haley. That's what many of them said. Do you think Trump could win Georgia by his 2016 margin? I wouldn't go that far, but maybe bar plus 2 or 3. Maybe 4. Roth was lieutenant governor. Yeah, I remember that. But he was a Senate president for a while, I think. Let's see. Alright, if you guys did enjoy this stream, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. I wanted to do a quick stream today because, you know, kind of post-mortem yesterday, talk about what's happening with Texas, talk about what's happening in Arizona. A lot of stuff's going on. CNN interview had Haley voters saying they will vote for Biden in the general. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm trying to tell people. They're going to vote Biden, no matter what. Binkley won beans. Did he? No, he didn't. He didn't win beans. Which one? Right there. There's 2 beans. Neither of them voted for Binkley. Thank you for engaging with chat. Yeah, this was kind of like a discussion talking about what's happening and all that good stuff. If you guys did enjoy this video, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, and Binkley won beans. Oh, man. That's the meme of last night. I remember that. Just beans. But, yeah. We'll see you guys in the next stream, video, or whatever. Godspeed to all of you. And, of course,